is springtime in the country. The pale canvas of winter is awash with hues of Indian yellow. The sun is streaming through. The Mahakumbh is on at the Prayagraj. And here at NSIC grounds in Delhi, there are streams of art, culture, and inspiration flowing together to create a sangam of sorts. Every spring, people of the country and Delhi come here to take their annual dip into creativity. This is Bandeep Singh from the India Today group, taking you through to what is good, great, and unforgettable at the India Art Fair. Heralding the transformation from a bleak winter to an erotically charged, turbulent, colorful spring is this massive work by Manu Parekh, the 42 feet painting titled Manthan evokes spring at its colorful, at its resplendent, at its explosive best. An extension of his famous Banaras series of paintings, this painting is a wonderful mix of ritual bhakti and tantric symbols. Here you have the dark shivling, moving on to the idea of the yoni enshrined in the Purna Ghat and the idea of the Kalash. You have flowers exploding into ejaculated expressions of colors. Once again, you have the idea of the Manthan, the traditional shivling wrapped by the Vasuki Nag, which is again turning into a phallic symbol, going into a flower, exploding into color. Shandilya Toyakov's works is all about creating mandalic forms, creating intricate textural forms using organic elements of plants, trees, using barks, using twigs, using thorns. It transforms them into these amazing compositions which are mindful of fossilized pieces, habitat spaces viewed from the top. There is illusions of forest, illusions of fossils, all exploring the inherent connectivity to nature. Figures standing on a maze of GI pipes intertwining like a labyrinth. Figures made out of resin with their faces enigmatically covered with buckets. What do they signify? Who are these people? This is a work inspired by migration, the subject of migration, how people, when they come from villages, how the big city assaults over their sensibilities. To talk about this work, we will speak to the artist Imtiaz Hussain.
मैं जब दिल्ली माइग्रेट किया तो हमारा मोस्ट ऑफ टाइम जो था बचपन का वो पानी ले जाने में लाने में गुजर जाता था। तो वो जो हमारे लिए जो रियलिटी जो हमने देखी है, जो फेस किया है, उस चीज़ को लेके मैंने काम बनाया है ये। तो मुझे उस टाइम ऐसा लगता था कि जो बेसिक नीड है उसमें हम उलझ के रह गए, जिसके कारण हम आगे के बारे में सोच नहीं पा रहे हैं।
तभी जो फिगर्स हैं उनके चेहरे पे पार्टी है।
जी जी,
मतलब पार्टी नहीं, उनको ब्लाइंड कर
दिया है। तो ये एक तरह के इनके चेहरे पे भूल भुलैया है, जिसमें जो बेसिक नीड है उस पर वो अटक गए। इससे वो अपने एजुकेशंस के बारे में या भविष्य के बारे में सोच नहीं पा रहे हैं।
तो आपने जो फॉर्म रखा है वो वाटर पाइप्स का ही रखा है।
हाँ,
क्योंकि वाटर ही से आपका संबंध था और नलकों में पानी आना ही आपके लिए सबसे बड़ी चीज थी।
जी।
Behind me, in the works of Vinod Darose at the Art Alive Gallery booth, you are seeing a human form on an inverted architectural pillar base with the head behind a cloud-like shape. Now this is traditional ceramics crossing over to create contemporary sculpture. What you're seeing over here, according to artists, is the aspiration of human beings to take flight in the sky, which is represented by the cloud. The inverted pillar over here represents unhinged traditions that are inverted, traditions that are broken in taking this flight. This to me also symbolizes our digital life in the cloud. All our photographs, our mails, our messages, how they exist in this virtual world. The image over here represents our increasing life hidden in the cloud space. Just an arrangement of mirrors and light to show us visions of the infinite. One of the most engaging artworks of this art fair is this remarkable installation by Yayoi Kusama, a legendary Japanese artist, 92 years old, who creates this amazing concept called infinity rooms. What she does is places mirrors facing each other along with an arrangement of lights, and when you look into it, it is at once like a kaleidoscope, but a kaleidoscope which is like an image of infinity. You know, forms, lights changing, creating like a sea of multiplicity, reflections into reflections into reflections. And in the middle of it, there is an image of you, again reflected in a million ways, you know, creating this dimension where you are seeing yourself as a part of the infinite, leading to immense questions and ruminations about the whole idea of existence, how we exist as a speck in the infinite. A resplendent, striking landscape from one of India's most well-known contemporary artists, Parekh Maiti. The painting is striking, but very unlikely and very different from the style of Parekh Maiti's earlier works. Instead of the form dominating the picture, it is the space and the color, almost like a color field painting, like an abstract color field painting, the color dominating the maximum area of the painting. The landscape, it's minimalistic, almost bordering on abstract. A striking depiction of the dawn at Maihar, a small town in Madhya Pradesh. How different it is from Parekh Das' earlier works. Let us speak to the artist himself.
Yes, you are absolutely right. This painting composition is very different than other paintings. इसमें बहुत sky छोड़ा है. But read early morning sunrise in Maihar, but it has so many combination of red. Red is not just a flat color, it is the combination of orange, maroon, many colors. And yes, it has the sensibility of the watercolor because that is my heart and soul.
Vipul Prajapati had, well, a spark of an idea, and he transformed the ubiquitous matchbox into a kind of a portal where you see two realities. One on the top of the cover of the matchbox, and the underlying dimension which is in the open side of the matchbox. Here, for instance, the cover shows an ear, and the open matchbox shows the filtered noise that comes through the ear. So he does these playful little stories around the matchbox where you see the cover of the matchbox alluding to the reality that is behind it. It is, to my mind, an out-of-the-box thinking. In Arabian folklore, magic carpets have been used to travel across time to go into fantastical lands. Jaipur-based art gallery Aspura, a gallery of antiques and collectible rugs, takes us to a journey across time through three carpets. On my right is an old Persian rug dating back to 1920. In front of me is a contemporary adaptation of the same rug using the same colors and pixelating those colors into large squares and weaving them together. And on my left is the same rug, an adaptation of the same rug created by Pakistani-based artist Rashid Rana, who uses the mosaic technique of using small images. These images are of the rugs in the collection of the gallery. they have been put together to create a mirror image of the 1920 rug. So a 1920 rug in its contemporary adaptation and its artistic adaptation. Far from the loud, big and colorful works at the art fair, in a quiet corner are these amazing works which are striking and staggering in their intricacy and their intensity. These are works by Boston-based artist Yudhishthir Mahajan, who is an artist from Nepal. What he does is he cuts out pages of the books in the most fine manners and creates these metaphorical books. If you see closely over here, he has cut pages of the books with the letter, wherever the letter O appears, he has cut them and linked the cuts together. These are all single cut pages, and it is so poetically titled, The Book of Nothing. It is when words disappear and the letter O, which also signifies the numerical 0, which is the whole idea of shunya, and is approaching that in this very delicate work. In this second work, he cuts these very thin slivers of the book pages and then weaves them together in a chatai-like fashion. And then he poetically titles this book as the Book of Silence. It is so metaphorical. You see the words, the shapes of the words, but they are not the words. They are words disappearing into the whiteness of silence. A playful reproduction of Vincent van Gogh's famous self-portrait, and at the same time, famous Japanese painter Hakusai's Tsunami Wave, recreated with Lego blocks, is Chinese artist Ai Weiwei's way of playfully commenting upon the commercialization and mass-scale reproduction of art. Towards the end of this art walk, I find myself standing in front of this famous artwork by Anish Kapoor from his famous concave mirror series. This one made out of triangular bits of polished steel. It immediately fragments your reflection into multiple layers, posing you with this question, that in this fractured psyche, who is it that you really are? What is your real self? And to that I answer using the words of Walt Whitman, I am the cosmos. I contain multitudes. This is me, Bandeep Singh, for India Today, signing off till we meet at the next year's art fair.